Week 11 of the fantasy football season. Here's a few players I look to sell and trade this week. The first play, Alvin Kamara of the New Orleans Saints. Alvin Kamara finally had a good game in Week 10 where he went out there and put up a good performance at the Carolina Panthers in an upset victory. 22 carries, 83 rush yards, 3 catches, 32 yards. So the weeks prior for Kamara, he failed to reach double-digit fantasy points going all the way back to Week 6, Week 7 at the Bears. 11 carries, 28 rush yards, 3 catches, 1 yard. Week 8 versus Tampa, 6 carries, 21 yards, 2 catches, 24 yards. In Week 9 at the Rams, 6 carries, 14 yards, a catch, 3 yards, a fumble loss. So like I said, Kamara, he didn't get traded, obviously at the trade deadline, but the last few weeks he's failed before the Week 10 good game at Carolina to reach the double-digit fantasy points. And going on bye week and coming off a good game, I think you put Kamara on the trade block and see if you could get anything of decency for him. Next player, Breece Hall of the New York Jets. Breece Hall, he wanted out of New York supposedly during the deadline early last week before it came in Tuesday. And the Chiefs offered a 4th-round pick for Hall, but the Jets wanted a 3rd. And now the last 2 games with this New York Jet team, he's gone out there and put up numbers as Breece Hall. Week 8 at Cincinnati, 18 carries, 133 rush yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 catches, 14 yards. And Week 10 versus the Browns, 21 carries, 83 yards, a nice screen for 42 yards, and a touchdown in that game. So Breece Hall, if he didn't have that screen for a touchdown, it was pretty much going to be a nothing game for him. And the next couple weeks, some stiffer competition coming up for this New York Jet team and Breece Hall. Week 11 in New England and Week 12 at the Baltimore Ravens. So he's coming off of 2 big games in some decent matchups. I know the Browns' defense is good, but still, they give up their points, and we saw Breece Hall, like I said, take that 42-yard screen to the end zone. So with him having 2 games in a row, and like I said, this Jet offense still, in my opinion, isn't good. They had 2 touchdowns on returns in that ball game versus Cleveland. Breece Hall is a sell-high player this week. The next player, Aaron Jones of the Minnesota Vikings. Aaron Jones, he's been back over the last couple weeks, and he was banged up even going into Week 10 with a shoulder injury. But now 3 games coming back from injured reserve. Week 8 at Chargers, 5 carries, 15 yards, 2 catches, 15 yards. Week 9 at the Lions, 9 carries, 78 yards, 2 catches, 20 yards. And Week 10 versus Baltimore, good game, 9 carries, 47 yards, a touchdown, 3 catches, 22 yards. But a couple things with Aaron Jones, he's injury prone to me. Obviously, is Aaron Jones, where there's going to be weeks he's not going to play, and we saw him miss 4 games early in the season. Also, Jordan Mason, he's still there. He's still going to get his touches in at the goal line at times as well. And also, Aaron Jones, unlimited touches. If he's only getting 9, 12 touches per game, I don't think we're going to see a lot of output for him. So right now, while he's healthy, over the last few weeks, I'm playing Aaron Jones and putting up some decent numbers. I think after coming off a good few games, he's a sell-high player this week. The next player, David Montgomery of the Detroit Lions. So his ceiling's really capped, obviously, is David Montgomery. With Jahmyr Gibbs there taking over and being the RB1 for this Lion team. He still gets a decent amount of touches with Montgomery, but like I said, the impact isn't going to be there week in and week out. So he's had 2 double-digit fantasy games in a row as Montgomery, but like I said, the ceiling is low, and he's only had 2 games, 20 or more fantasy points all season long. Week 7 versus Tampa, 13 carries, 21 yards, 2 catches, 18 yards. Week 9 versus Minnesota, 11 carries, 40 yards, a touchdown, 2 catches, 10 yards, a fumble loss. And then Week 10 at Washington, 15 carries, 71 yards, and a 2-point conversion, and a catch in that one for no yards. So like I said, David Montgomery, the ceiling isn't that high. Tougher matchup coming up in Week 11 at the Philadelphia Eagles. And like I said, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's the number 1 back over there. And even with 15, 20 touches a game, if he's not scoring a touchdown, Montgomery's pretty much been a touchdown-dependent running back this season. And he's definitely someone to sell this week. The next play is his teammate, Jameson Williams of the Detroit Lions. So the last couple weeks, Williams, he's been getting more involved in this offense and making plays. And we've seen it now. The last 2 games, Week 7, he had a goose egg. Week 8, they went on bye. And then they got him back into the game plan in Week 9 and Week 10 is Jameson Williams. But like I said, with all these good options on the offense, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Gibbs in the backfield, obviously Sam Laporta at the tight end position. I think some weeks it's going to be nothing weeks, and some weeks decent weeks. So he's pretty much a boom or bust player. Week 9 versus Minnesota, 4 catches, 66 yards, a touchdown. And Week 10 at the Commanders, 6 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown on 7 targets. So going into the second half, he only had 2 points at halftime with Jameson Williams. And then he had 1 big drive thing for the Lions offense. So this week, I would sell him high. Like I said, he's coming off of 2 good games No doubt about it, it's Jameson Williams, but I just don't think consistency will be there week in and week out. Next player, Jerry Jeudy of the Cleveland Browns. Jerry Jeudy's been pretty much non-existent all season long. After last year, he came off a monster year with 90 catches and over 1,200 yards was Jerry Jeudy. But this season, it's just been a bad year for him. Only 2 games with double-digit fantasy points. He's in Week 6 of Pittsburgh, 5 catches, 43 yards, 13 targets. Week 7 versus Miami, 2 catches, 17 yards. Week 8 at New England, he had a goose egg, only 2 targets. And then Week 10, he had a good ball game, but it was versus a depleted Jet defense, where obviously they traded away its top 2 defenders in Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. So Jeudy went out there, had a good game, 6 catches, 78 yards, a touchdown on 12 targets. So maybe him and Dylan Gabriel building rapport, but still, he's a player I'm not going to trust week in and week out is Jerry Jeudy. Last season could have been a fluky season for Jeudy with his new team. And now Dylan Gabriel, he's more of an intermediate and short route passer as Gabriel. So with all those factors and Jeudy coming off a good game for once in a long time, he's definitely a player I'd look to sell this week. And the final player, Jauan Jennings of the San Francisco 49ers. Jennings, he's been going out there and he's been making plays for the San Francisco 49er team over the last couple of weeks. But he's dealing with a lot of injuries, multiple rib fractures he's dealing with, the shoulder and some ankle issues as well. And I don't know if Jennings is going to hold up. So the last 2 weeks he's gone out there and he's put up numbers. And also Ricky Pearsall, he'll be back sooner than later, you would think, after missing over a month as Pearsall. And also Brandon Ayuk, it wouldn't be surprising if he's back in the lineup in the next couple weeks. So if those guys return, obviously Jennings, he's going to lose targets. And obviously his points are going to go down. Week 8 at Houston, 4 catches, 45 yards, 7 targets. Week 9 at the Giants, 4 catches, 41 yards, a touchdown. And Week 10 versus the Rams, 6 catches, 71 yards, a touchdown. A fumble loss on 9 targets. Jauan Jennings, he's gone out there the last couple weeks. Him and Mac Jones have definitely built a rapport. Brock Purdy possibly could come back in Week 11. Other reports coming out, but we'll see for sure if Purdy comes back, because I thought for multiple weeks he was going to come back into the lineup, but obviously that didn't come to fruition. So right now, while Jennings is playing good, and like I said, with potential playmakers coming back in Pearsall and Ayuk, and also he's dealing with multiple injuries but gutting it out, he's a player I would sell this week. So that's a few plays I look to sell and trade for Week 11 of the fantasy football season.